Captain Marcus Hale's consciousness clawed its way back through layers of pain and darkness. 2 alien moons cast eerie blue light through the canopy above, where bioluminescent vines pulsed like arteries. His head throbbed as he tried to focus, realizing his arms and legs were bound in chains that hummed with energy. 10 towering figures surrounded him, alien Huntresses, their armor crafted from bone and metal, moving with predatory grace. The tallest one, her breastplate adorned with skulls of various species, knelt beside him. Her breath was hot against his ear as she whispered in perfect English, "Don't scream, it makes the meat tough." The words sent ice through his veins, but Marcus forced himself to remain still, to think. They began dragging him through the alien jungle, their claws digging trenches in his skin. The Huntresses chanted in an ancient tongue, voices weaving together in a rhythm that spoke of rituals older than civilization. Glowing plants pulsed in response to their passage, as if the forest itself recognized the ceremony of death. Marcus's memories crashed back in fragments, the human fleet ambushed above this world, his squad torn apart by energy weapons, his shuttle spinning toward the surface in flames. He alone had survived the crash, only to become their prize. Around him, the jungle floor was littered with bones, some bleached white by alien suns, others still bearing scraps of flesh and fabric. Human bones, alien bones, all gnawed clean by teeth that had no concept of mercy. The Huntress's leader studied his scars with interest, running a clawed finger along the plasma burn on his shoulder. "This one fought hard," she laughed, her voice like grinding stone. "His fear will season the feast well." But Marcus met her gaze steadily, remembering his father's words from a childhood that felt like another lifetime. "When the universe thinks you're prey, son, you prove them wrong." He clenched his fists against the energy shackles, feeling them burn his wrists, and smiled through the pain. The Huntress tilted her head, momentarily confused by his expression. They expected terror, they expected pleading. Instead, they found something they didn't recognize, the quiet fury of a human who refused to break. The procession emerged into a colossal cave system, lit by bioluminescent crystals, that cast dancing shadows on walls decorated with banners of flayed skin. Drums thundered from deeper chambers, their rhythm matching the pulse of alien hearts drunk on bloodlust. The Huntresses raised their prize above their heads as hundreds of their sisters cheered, voices echoing off the cavern walls in a symphony of anticipated violence. They threw Marcus into a cage beside other captives, aliens from a dozen worlds, humans from his own fleet, all broken and malnourished but still breathing, still hoping against hope. An alien prisoner with 3 eyes and scaled skin croaked at him through cracked lips. "Don't fight them, they enjoy the struggle." Marcus met the creature's gaze and whispered back, "They haven't met a human like me yet." Faking weakness, Marcus waited until a guard leaned close to the bars, then lunged forward, slamming his energy shackles against the Huntress's face. Sparks flew as the chains overloaded, burning his wrists but stunning his captor. The other guards swarmed him, beating him with bone clubs, until blood ran into his eyes. But through it all, he smiled. One Huntress lingered after the others left, fascinated by his defiance. She knelt, studying him like a puzzle she couldn't solve. "Strange prey," she murmured, "perhaps worth keeping alive longer." But Marcus had already begun his real plan, using bone shards hidden in the filthy straw to work at his bindings, while talking, not pleading, but telling them stories of human wars, of victories snatched from certain defeat. Some laughed, some listened, some began to doubt. The drums grew louder as feast preparations began. Fires roared to life, and the smell of roasting flesh filled the cavern, while captives screamed from the preparation chambers. Marcus's jaw tightened, but inside him, fear was transforming into something far more dangerous. When the same Huntress leaned close again, repeating her ritual whisper, "Don't scream, it makes the meat tough," he stared into her alien eyes without flinching. "Then I'll never scream," he said quietly. "Not once." The first sacrifice was dragged to the center, an alien merchant dismembered with ritual precision, while the crowd cheered. Marcus watched every detail, memorizing guard positions, weapon placements, the rhythm of their movements. Fear was becoming fury. Fury was becoming strategy. Working through the night with his hidden bone shard, Marcus finally felt the lock mechanism snap. His wrists bled from the energy burns, but he was free. Moving like a shadow, he strangled a sleeping guard with her own chain, taking her weapons and armor. He whispered to the other captives, When I move, you move. Follow me or die in these cages. Hope flickered in their broken eyes for the first time in weeks. When the guards returned at dawn, Marcus ambushed them from the shadows. Bones cracked, blood sprayed against ancient walls. The cavern erupted into chaos as freed prisoners joined the fight, wielding improvised weapons with desperate fury. The Huntress Queen's roar shook the cavern as she rallied her warriors. No prey escapes the eternal hunt. But Marcus fought with a savagery that shocked even these seasoned predators, his bare hands becoming weapons as deadly as any blade. The fires meant for the feast now illuminated a battlefield where former victims wielded spears of bone and shattered metal against their captors. The fascinated huntress cornered Marcus near the ritual altar, pressing a ceremonial blade to his throat. "Don't scream," she began, but he grabbed her wrist, twisted until bones snapped, and snarled, "I told you, I don't scream." For the first time in their ancient history, the huntresses faltered, uncertainty creeping into their predatory confidence as their prey fought back with the fury of the damned. The queen herself charged Marcus, wielding a war axe forged from alien crystal that sang through the air with each swing. Their duel shook the cavern, ancient stalactites crashing down as human rage met alien pride. Marcus dodged and countered, every move fueled by the memory of his fallen comrades, by the faces of the captives, who had looked to him for salvation. Finally, he caught the axe mid-swing, turned it against its wielder, and buried it deep in the queen's chest. As she fell, stunned by the impossibility of her defeat, he finished her with her own blade. The drumming stopped. The huntresses stared at their fallen leader, and for the first time in their species' history, they knew the taste of fear. Marcus roared to the surviving huntresses, "Humans are not prey. Remember this night. Remember who hunted whom." The freed captives gathered around him, trembling but alive, as he carved the symbol of earth into the cave wall, a warning to any who might see it. The broken-wristed huntress crawled away, her eyes wide with something approaching respect. Marcus spared her life. "Tell your kind," he called after her. Humans scream only in victory. As they emerged into the alien forest, moons still glowing overhead, the survivors moved together, no longer captives, but hunters in their own right. Around their fire that night, freed aliens pledged loyalty to the human who had turned prey into predator. And Marcus looked up at the unknown constellations with burning determination. "We'll find the fleet," he promised. "We'll take back the stars." The whispered words echoed in his mind. "Don't scream. It makes the meat tough," and he smiled in the moonlight. The legend was already beginning to spread across the galaxy. Humans don't scream, humans fight. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, other huntresses would learn that humanity had evolved beyond their understanding of predator and prey. The hunt had been reversed, and the universe would never be the same. As the screen fades to black, Marcus's voice carries one final message into the alien night. "We are not your prey. We are your reckoning."